This is the Tech Podcast Network. If it's tech, it's here.
Hey guys, this is Nick here with F5Live.tv, part of the Tech Podcast Network and TPN.tv. We're here at the Corsair booth to take a look at some of the gaming peripherals and see what's in store for the next year. Let's take a look.
CES 2012 coverage is sponsored in part by GoDaddy.com. Get 25% off their 4th generation hosting by using promo code CES2. Find more GoDaddy deals at TPN.tv.
I'm here at the Corsair booth with Jim Carlton, who has a lot of cool products that I find intriguing as far as gaming is concerned. We have a couple of peripherals that we're going to talk about today. Is that right?
That's right, and thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. So we're going to be talking about our new gaming peripherals line. So we've got 2 new keyboards, 2 new mice, and 3 new headsets. So the keyboards are the K90 and K60. The mice are the M90 and M60. You guess they probably pair up. The 90 series are for, they're sort of game optimized for MMO and RTS. So StarCraft, World of Warcraft, games like that, where you have either a lot of actions per minute or you want a series of complex actions recorded and bound to a key, those sorts of things. So they're great. They have all kinds of macro buttons and programmability. The 60 series, the K and M60, are designed for first-person shooters. So the features that we've included on those really are targeted at helping somebody who's playing a Battlefield 3 or a Counter-Strike or one of the FPS games to really excel there. And they're really interesting. Both sets of keyboards are Cherry MX Red mechanical key switches. So the Cherry mechanical switches have sort of a lot of panache in the game industry. People really want them. They want to see them. The reds are really intriguing for us. We really like the reds. There's a whole range of them. There's browns and blues and blacks. But red is linear, so there's no click point. It's a 4mm travel with the actuation point at the 2mm mark. So guys who are really good with Cherry Reds, actually, when they're doing a double or triple tap, they're not even bottoming out the key. They just float in this really short space. It's amazing to watch. And a very light actuation force, so about 45 grams of actuation force, so really light touch, which is great when you're going to game for a really long time. And that's on both sets of keyboards, our Cherry MX Reds.
Definitely, and I hear a lot of passion in your voice, and we were speaking right before we got on air that, you know, you guys are gamers yourself, which is why the products are so intuitive and intense as far as getting down to the final detail that really makes Corsair separate itself from, like I was saying, the Logitechs of the world. Well,
yeah, I think one of the great things about the company is most of us bought Corsair product before we joined the company. So a lot of us come from a space where we're really passionate about it because it's our hobby. It's what we did even before we worked for Corsair. So working in that space gives us this chance to really kind of say, what is it I would want as a gamer, as opposed to what are we going to build to sell to somebody? And so some of the features that we can go over on these products, you'll see are really focused on the gamer's needs and what gamers do, not on flashy bells and whistles or whiz-bang things that maybe don't add that much value. So.
Sure thing, and we want to definitely jump into the details, but first let's take a break for a quick word from our sponsors who help keep the lights on for this project. With as much content as TPN.tv and, of course, our show produce every single day, especially during CES, we need a web service that's going to hold up to any load. We chose GoDaddy for that solution. With their new 4G hosting packages, they build servers in a cluster, so if one goes down, another one picks it up, and when you need to expand, it's there for you. So right now, they have a great offer for you, 25% off of a 1-year shared hosting plan that ranges anywhere from $4.99 to $9.99 a month. So go there right now, go to GoDaddy.com, and at the checkout screen, use coupon code CES2 for 25% off of a 1-year shared hosting plan. And we're back talking with Jim Carlton here at Corsair. We want to touch upon some of the details for the keyboards and the mouse and the mice, I guess we should say. Yeah, right. And what makes them a little bit different from each other and then from the competition.
Sure, absolutely. So, I think one of the biggest things that you'll find, for example, in the mice is that we've selected components that are gaming oriented. So the mice are both 5700 DPI using an Avago sensor. They're multi-surface. They're adjustable on the fly for DPI, so you can range your DPI up and down depending on the game, depending on the situation you're in, and that can all be done on the fly from buttons on the mouse. The buttons are Omicron, buttons. So as they have, I think, I guess you're going to quote me because I'm on video, but I think it's 1 million clicks or some ridiculous number before they fail. They're very high-end switches. It's all premium material, solid aluminum construction, but that just provides the kind of quality foundation, and then we do the little touches. So if you look at our M60, for example, we've got a sniper button because in FPS, it's about target acquisition, then targeting for the headshot, right? So everybody wants to get that headshot, and if you're not in Counter-Strike with the giant hit boxes, it's kind of hard to do sometimes. But the nice part is, you sort of track and in high-res mode, you hit that sniper button, and what it does is it drops your DPI immediately to 800 DPI. It's actually settable, but that's our default. And so you go from fast target acquisition down to real fine control, let go, shoot, then when you let go of the button, you're right back at 5,700 DPI. So it's just, as long as you're holding it, it drops it. As soon as you let go, you go back up high to high resolution. Makes the game a lot more fluid, because you get real twitchy when you're trying to get fine control, and this gives you fine control with bigger movements, which makes it nice and fluid. You don't have to kind of move from big to small all the time. You kind of keep the same motion, and you just adjust your DPI with your thumb. It's really cool.
Right. It makes it more lifelike because in human nature, you have, not just a 1 and a 0. You have a range between the actions.
You're going to swing that gun around, and then you're going to slow down when you get close, right? So it does give you that kind of ability. And as a mouse goes, it's also got adjustable weight tuning and center of gravity. So I'm a skip mouser, so I skip, and I tend to pinch with my thumb and pinky, and that makes that can make your mouse wobble in your hand a bit because your center of balance isn't exactly right. With the weight tuning system, we can adjust both the weight and that center of gravity, so it's balanced for you, balanced for me, each individual's hands. So it's really kind of cool. Similarly, on the M90, what we've got there is a macro mouse, so it's got 9 macro programmable buttons. Now, one of the most popular macro mice out there has 9 buttons arranged kind of like a telephone keypad. And I've got it, and I used it for a while, and every time you grab it, your thumb actuates a button because it's sitting right under your thumb. And so you end up disabling a bunch of buttons. Well, with ours, we place the 9 buttons all around your thumb. So your thumb has a solid place to sit, and you can move up, down, back, and find the button that you want to press, but not ever squeeze it accidentally, because accidentally triggering a macro can be a disaster in the middle of a game, right? So, you end up not being able to use all 9 buttons, where with ours, we really designed it to try and have all 9 buttons, laid out intelligently so you could use all 9 of them at any time.
Right, which makes a lot of sense. And then on top of that, it makes sense to have the keyboard, to have the mouse, but without sound, you're really nowhere, right? I mean, you need the sound.
Absolutely. And sound in games is it's a lot harder than people think to do good audio in games, because you've got a really wide range of frequencies. So you got a lot of bass and explosions and rumbling tanks or whatever, and you've got ricochets and pings, and you've got team chat. And if you don't design your headphones well, some of that frequency will get overwhelmed. We find that a lot in some of the gaming headsets, where the bass is so much it overwhelms that sort of team chat range, that kind of where you have your speech is naturally in the frequency band. It gets kind of washed away by the overly strong bass. Now, it's not to say you shouldn't have great bass, but you have to be careful not to overdrive it so you wash out the rest of your audio. And people will blame the mic, and it has nothing to do with the mic. It's on the other. Your guys are hearing you fine. You're not hearing them, not because their mic's bad, but because your headphones are too much. So we've got 3 headphones that we launched: the Vengeance 1300 and 1500, and then the Vengeance 1100. So Vengeance 1100 is a lightweight behind the head headphone. It uses 40 millimeter drivers, has a noise canceling adjustable mic. Sounds fantastic. It's a great retail price, MSRP of $39.99. So it's a very affordable, but sounds really, really good, especially for the price point. The 1300 and 1500, those use 50 millimeter drivers. They're over the ear. So 50 millimeter drivers, most over ear headphone designs are 40s, which is the same as we have in our behind the head ones. So we went up to 50. That gives us a lot more surface area, which gives us a lot better frequency response. We can drive more power and get cleaner results from it. The ear cups are really large, so they fit around your ear comfortably. And the idea there was, if something's touching your ear for 2 or 3 or 4 hours, it's going to cause you some irritation. If it's around your head and with memory foam, which is what we use, it sort of conforms to your head, and really you almost lose the sense that the headphones are on. Got a padded headband, adjustable ear cups, and the boom mic is also adjustable, so you can flip it up, bring it down, to move it in and out to get it exactly right for you. It's also a noise canceling mic, so you're going to hear the chat and not all the rest of the noise around you.
Definitely, and a lot of things to think about when a lot of people think of Corsair. They don't necessarily immediately go to right to the gaming peripherals. You think RAM and cases, so this is definitely
PSUs and solid-state drives and memory. I mean, we actually are in 8 different product categories now, so it's kind of an interesting thing. But yeah, I hear it all the time. Oh, you're the memory guys, or oh, I have one of your PSUs. I didn't know you built a case, or I didn't know you built it. Yeah, we do an amazing range of products. But they're all targeted at people who are passionate about their PCs. So, it doesn't, whether it's a case or a cooler, a CPU cooler, or a PSU or whatever, we're always kind of trying to find the things that are going to make that system builder, that PC guy, that gamer who's building his own stuff because he knows what he wants, going to make that a better PC for him.
And now with gaming peripherals, you can build the complete system from the inside out, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, we kind of say just add motherboard, graphics, and CPU. Right, because everything else can come from us, which is kind of neat. But it's nice because you've got the option of really being able to go to a company who understands how you build your PC and what you do with it, and we try and build products for you. And the nice part is we've got a wide range of price points, quality levels, all that, so people can kind of get in at whatever level they can, is comfortable for them. So.
Sure. So for any gamer, this is the place where you want to go if you want anything gaming related. Corsair has it for you. Jim, thanks for your time. So as you can see, whether you're a first-person shooter type gamer or one that just is addicted to World of Warcraft, Corsair has an option for you. Great stuff here at the Corsair booth. And for more continued coverage of International CES 2012, please make sure you stay plugged in to F5Live.tv or, of course, the Tech Podcast Network at TPN.tv.
This is the Tech Podcast Network. If it's tech, it's here.